So that could bring down the pace of the ground strokes from either one of these, but Pegula played last night. She's going to be used to it. It's similar conditions, but I think Muchova, for me, is going to be looking to use the variety as much as possible, and Pegula, on the other hand, is going to look to try and be aggressive right from that first strike, just like she did against Swiatek last night.
Play. Left second serve. Left second serve. Love. Love.
You can see what Jill just said. Now Pegula on the baseline, taking the serve early, trying to take time away from Muchova. Just trying to prevent that Muchova does what she does best, her all-court game variety.
40 love. Game, Muchova.
Straightforward hold.
First game.
Something.
Long 15.
Pegula's first
We talked about this backhand slice down the line in the previous match with Muchova. Such an important shot for her to get right, because she wants to set up for her big weapon, the forehand, and most players will take it cross court.
I'm watching and wondering if either of you can see, is it nerves right now, Pegula?
I wonder what Jill will say. To me, it seems like she's really trying to take time away from Muchova and risking just a tad too much. You saw a few misses into the net, this one to the sideline, so she's really taking high risk right now. And Jill, how do you see it? You're much closer than we are.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the facial expression of both players, and I would say Pegula is one that definitely looks a little unsettled. She's already giving some frustrating reactions. Frustrating for her. It's not much of a reaction, but you can tell just with the mistakes that she made, she's not happy. So I still think she's maybe not as sharp. And for me, Muchova looks ready to go from the first point.
There we have it again, the same
40-30.
pattern. She just missed that forehand, not by much, as you can see, but Pegula has to lift the forehand cross court, and it sets up perfectly for Muchova's big weapon. Needs to be really careful on that one, Pegula.
Pegula only put 3 first serves in the game, 3 out of 6, but she does
1 game all.
manage to get the hold.
First set.
I wonder what you would think. Is it better that she didn't have long to think about it, having played last night and back tonight, as opposed to what may be typical, having a day in between?
I think it's not bad when you play right away and just don't have that one day to think about the big occasion. And he looks very relaxed, Mark Knowles.
Love 15. Love 30. Fifteen 30.
It's a beautiful pattern here. So nice, took a bit off on that serve. Got some kick on it. You can see it here, how it opens the court and then takes time away by approaching the net. And you can see how close to the net she ends up being. Well done. That's something they've been working on with the Marky Marks, Mark Merklin and Mark Knowles, to get a bit more variety in Pegula's game, just because she plays so nice and clean. It oftentimes puts the big players at ease because they get the same kind of rhythm over and over again. So they've been working on making it a bit
Well, all the running by Pegula, and then the talent of Muchova wins the point.
Yeah, great court coverage from Jess. That's another thing they've been working on, is they've transferred a lot of the fitness work onto the court itself from the gym. But Muchova, just beautiful hands. And again, that pattern, serve wide into the open court.
Advantage Muchova. Yes.
There's that. That's a terrible look. As a player, you must hate that. Look at like, you see Muchova's like caught. Oh, you're kidding me. No, no.
Advantage Pegula.
Second chance for Pegula.
Cheers.
You can see Pegula directing a lot of shots into the forehand side of Muchova's, whose bigger weapon is the forehand. However, she always is leaning towards the backhand side, looking for forehands, trying to run around her backhand. So she leaves a bit of space open on that side, and that's what Pegula is aiming for, and gets another break point.
Yes.
Frustration for Pegula.
Yeah, it's a tough one for Pegula to miss, just because I feel like overall when I watch Pegula, her net clearance is so low over the net, but watching her, yes, last night and tonight, she's getting a little bit more clearance, has a little more rotation, which is great to see, just that extra safety.
Done.
Yes.
And Jill, what do you make of Pegula's return position on second serve? It's very high in the court, very aggressive.
It is, yeah, and she was doing that against Swiatek as well. She was taking that risk, and it paid off. So it's something that I think she can continue to do. It'll be interesting to see if she starts to mix it up a little bit. But because it was so successful against Swiatek, I don't blame her for going after it a little bit more.
Game, Muchova.
Oh, that's a terrific
Muchova leads by 2 games to 1.
Muchova survives 3 great points. The Open that we're no longer surprised by, to see Arthur Ashe Stadium full to the very top. 23,000 here on semifinal night.
15 love.
Pegula having to now shake off the lost opportunity.
Beautiful, another beautiful rally from both women. Well, you can just see the court awareness. She can see Pegula gripping the slice grip, and right away she's on her way to the front. That's just the court awareness she has on the eye for the other side at all times.
15-30.
So now this becomes a test for Pegula, coming off the last return game. Now 15-30. Now 15-40.
15-40. Game. Muchova.
Pegula, wow, she won the first point, and then the game fell apart.
Yeah, just a few too many
Muchova
errors
leads by
into the
3
net.
games
I
to
don't
1.
mind the ones
set.
that she misses long or to the side.
So is that tight to you? Is that what that
Maybe
communicates,
it's
or
tightness
something
and,
else?
Yeah, maybe it's tightness, and maybe it's just the too high risk and too little margin right now.
USOpen.org has all the point-by-point live scoring, the real-time stats, by the way, interesting ones that we may not get to you. All at the official tournament site, USOpen.org.
Yeah, just watching Pegula on this side again. This is something that you mentioned earlier, Andrea, about working on her movement. That's something that she said she's increased significantly, especially out of the corners and getting back. And that's the area where I feel like isn't as sharp compared to last night. And we know nerves can usually play in a role in the footwork. It can slow you down a little bit, but I think she will settle.
And of course, a lot of that has to do with how Muchova makes you feel on court, just uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
In every position, you never get the same rhythm twice. You never get the same pace twice. One is chopped, one is diced, one is sliced. And so she makes you feel this way, and you think you have to do more than you actually do.
40 love.
Refresh on the Muchova injury. She wrist gave out on her right after the U.S. Open last year, and all the medical consultants said, no, try to rehab it.
Thank you.
And she did all the way until February. It was actually in Dubai hitting and just hitting in Dubai in February. She finally gave in, said this isn't working, had surgery shortly thereafter.
Muchova leads by
June
4
before
games
she was
to
able
1.
to play on tour. Well, there's some games, and in that last game there were a couple points where you just think Muchova's just wonderful to watch.
Yeah.
Just a beautiful player.
I really think Jess can have a bit more margin on her ground strokes, but other than that, it's this woman right here who's just playing so far an almost flawless match, and there is really not a lot you can do when she's playing this well. She just looks so sharp, and her footwork, these adjustment steps, they seem to be exactly where they need to be, so precise. And Martina is there too. Now I really am upset I didn't get an invitation. This is the coolest club in New York right now, is this seating arrangement right there.
I was saying, and this is going to, something I mentioned, I think, with you, Andrea, the other night, Jill, is that what Muchova's doing right now is what we haven't, at least I haven't seen a lot of, hitting winners. It's not the other players' errors. That's 9 winners already for Muchova.
Martina is very happy whenever she sees anybody at the net, and look at this, yeah. Yeah, this is just at this moment
level,
you just have to accept, right? You just have to accept that your opponent is playing tremendous tennis, and you have to try and slow the time down, not rush what Jess is doing here, and hope that the streak ends.
With this
15-40, and the 40 in this game are 3 winners. No errors by Pegula.
That's 14.
And so there likely goes the first set.
Muchova leads by 5 games to 1 first set.
Yeah, I agree with you both. There's this just look about Muchova right now where she looks completely focused. Even that slight pause that Pegula had between the serves, Muchova was so ready to get on with it. And also the other thing that I'm watching the ball go from side to side. And even I'm surprised sometimes all of a sudden Muchova's at the net out of nowhere. So just that constant surprise that she's continuing to show with the variety, I think, has just kept Jess off balance.
15 love.
And that is such a smart approach to this match here by Muchova, because the one thing you can do with Pegula, or you cannot do, is give her the same shot into the same corner over and over again, and Muchova is not doing that at all. You can see right here in the rally, even when Muchova is playing a somewhat regular point, she's still moving the ball from left to right, and Jess never has the time to set up for her ground strokes, and that's where she gets the energy out of, and that fast pace is from setting up for her shot, and Muchova is preventing that today beautifully.
40 love.
I thought we had this out of the way with Sinner and Medvedev last night, playing these 6-1 sets.
Forty 15. Yemen first set, Muchova.
Arthur Ashe Stadium was
6
just
games
electric
to 1.
in the previous match when
please.
Navarro made a second set push. This first set, buzzkill. Family was here. They don't
Pegula to
sit
serve.
in the player box. They choose to sit elsewhere.
15.
So 16 shots to start the set. Muchova doesn't blink.
Balls. Ball.
Love 30.
That feels like there's a bad combination going on the Pegula side. This crowd's looking for it now. They want to see Pegula lift herself a little bit, and then hopefully Muchova level drops. Different match, but last night's scenario out here,
15-30.
Sinner just runs Medvedev off in the first set, and then Medvedev immediately reset. Immediately. And you saw it in the first game of the second set. That's what folks are hoping to see here with Pegula. There's no opening right now.
There is very little opening,
Yeah.
and I think Jess Pegula needs to, and I hope her team will give her some advice. She needs to try and slow the game down. All phases end, the great ones and the bad ones, and you need to try and make this as tight as possible until Muchova's good phase ends.
One of the better, if not the best point Pegula's played.
Yeah, that's excellent. And I think
30-40.
even though she lost the first 16-shot rally, if she can make this match very physical, just as she did here and in the first rally of the game, I think she has a good chance. Just remember, Muchova was not at her best physically yesterday. She was struggling.
Game Muchova.
Called, Andrea, because we have seen no indication of that carryover for Muchova.
First game,
and she
second
breaks
set.
to start the second.
Might have a little bit of an edge because she looks more comfortable.
Yes. 15 love. Thirty love.
I don't know if you two as players see something that to me is just glaring. Missing second serve returns.
Yeah, the
Pegula.
second serve returns are just. I see what she's trying. Jill just said it. She's trying to get depth in because she's. I wouldn't say afraid, but she has respect of Muchova's game, so she fears that if she drops anything short, she will be the one losing control. of those rallies right away, but it's just a bit too much risk.
Muchova has won 9 of 12 second serve points.
Andre, are you feeling that she should give herself a little bit more space on the return?
I think so, and I think she just took...
Just to get rhythm.
Yes, and I think she just took a few steps back. She's now still on the line, but not inside the baseline any longer as she was in the first set, and maybe that will just help her to get her rhythm on the return. She has to at least make returns on second serve. That's step number 1.
It's really a commentator jinx. Back-to-back doubles. Well, Muchova's put 1 first serve in this game. Still has a chance to hold.
But good to know she's mortal, right?
Yes,
good to know she's human, because everything up until now was very much immortal status from a quality perspective.
You see Pegula's reaction. Muchova let her back in the game, and
Muchova leads by 2 games to love.
Gets away with holds for 2 love.
Well, and that is the one difference between men's and women's tennis. When Medvedev yesterday lost the first set, he still has 2 more to go. And in a women's match, for Pegula losing the first set 6-1, the stakes are immediately so high. Time is running out, so there's just so much more pressure on resetting. That's what usually stands in the way, is pressure.
You were on that the other night when we had the Muchova match. That backhand up the line, my goodness.
She's very stable on the backhand side. This is what is so uncomfortable against Muchova, that you think you have to try and find the backhand because the forehand is the weapon, but she doesn't really miss on the backhand.
Jill, you were talking about Pegula's net clearance. That previous move, you could see on the replay how much net clearance Muchova gets on that backhand.
She does, and on the forehand as well, but it's crazy how she's able to transition from one to the other. She can go high, heavy, she can go flat and hard, and that makes the ball just come through the court a lot faster. You can hear the crowd just trying to get behind Pegula here.
That's yours.
Wow.
30-40.
An example, one more shot.
That was an incredible get, and you could just see Pegula take a look back up. I think that ball just drifted through the lights up there, so just lost sight of it for a moment.
Great effort by Muchova.
That was a really nice get by Pegula, and maybe now with the crowd, with a bit of an adrenaline kick, she can get something going. You can see her still rushing. That's the problem. The instinct of a human being is to rush to get through the bad face, but in reality, she needs to slow down.
Advantage, Pegula.
First ace.
I think sometimes, Andrea, I don't know if you agree, but sometimes you don't even know you're rushing.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially when you're in the moment.
Ball.
Yes.
It's not just the backhand. How about that forehand?
Yeah, just very clean technique. There is no fault found with how she strikes the ball on any side, really.
Advantage, Pegula. Thank you. Again, Pegula.
Well, just the first good thing to happen for Pegula in a while.
Muchova leads by 2-1, second set.
And the vibe inside Ash Stadium is clear. They'd like to see what happened in the previous match where Navarro made a nice push, a really good push in the second set, took Sabalenka into a tiebreak. Forced Sabalenka won to reach her second consecutive final.
Long 15.
Ball.
Starting to make strides here, Pegula. Got Muchova a few
30.
times now with passing shots, with the lob. Muchova not quite able to put it away and was really high. And she has a tiny little opening here.
Fifteen 30.
Yeah. Pegula's reaction explains it quickly to 30 all.
And that is what is so fascinating with Muchova. She loses a few points at the net, but she continues doing what she does best. I think we all know what she just said, and we'll just let it stand for itself.
Ball.
had one game.
30-14.
First set, in fact, it was game 3, where she had 3 break points, did not convert, and the set fell apart. So now this is the second game where she's had a look. Pegula had to have a break to keep life going for her, and she gets it for 2-all.
It's the first time we've seen really a positive response there from Pegula, an outburst of come on and also fist pump to her team, and that just shows you that where her mindset is. She's starting to feel more comfortable, and that sends a message to Muchova as well that she's in for the fight.
Saw the icons there representing all the major social media platforms. You can follow the U.S. Open, join the conversation with the hashtag US Open.
$15.
Still doesn't look 100% secure on those overheads, but gets the second one done. And you could see Pegula going again for the body serve that was so successful in the previous point, but you need to be careful if you play it twice in a row. The opponents get used to it, and that's exactly
a little slice on the forehand, and it draws a miss.
Yeah, and I think on the slice, if she could just slice it back into the backhand, that's important. If you get it to the forehand of Muchova, she will do something with it. But if you can get it into the backhand, she will most likely slice it back, and you're at least in a neutral. And Jill, that was right in front of you. Could she have hit that? It looked like she was there in plenty of time.
That's so funny. I was just thinking that. I don't know why she's going for the slice, and right now she's not handling the drop shots very well. Even on the previous deeper slice that Muchova hit, I felt like she could have come over the forehand. So it's interesting she's opting for that slice shot.
Yes. Advantage Pegula.
back there could have been back-breaking.
Gauff 15.
And this is such a smart adjustment that she's made, Muchova. I called the match between the two in Cincinnati, and Muchova was mostly going down the tee on the ad side. So you can see Jess always slightly leaning towards that side on important moments. And today she's going wide for most of the important points, Muchova. This is just very high tennis IQ. She knows what she's done a few weeks ago and is trying to surprise her opponent.
Total.
Much better second serve return.
15-13.
Much better, and Muchova is doing a slight game plan error, in my opinion, right now. She's going a lot more into the same corner, which sets Pegula up for her great strengths, and that's why Pegula has had more depth on her ground strokes, more pace on it, and is able to push Muchova a lot more in this set.
And also mainly because she's moving better, so she's been able to get behind these balls much faster. She's able to load the legs much better, which is where a lot of the power comes from. So it really is just better positioning that's allowed her to get more pace and depth on her shots.
Well, here's the moment. Pegula can get 23,000 people going right here.
This one was brilliant into the feet of Muchova.
What a serve that was, and Pegula got it back.
Yeah, that's maybe the most remarkable thing about Muchova, apart from the beauty and elegance of her game, is that she runs into the same situations that haven't gone well for her. We have seen her miss a few of these overheads, but now when it matters most, she still backs herself. She still trusts herself that she will make it this time.
Has a third chance.
Please. Yes. Advantage, Muchova.
Excellent point with the heavy serve. 110, just a mile off her fastest of the match.
Yes.
Something we talked about earlier in the set. Great Jill is happening in that Muchova's level slipped a bit. Now we're starting to see the errors that we didn't in the first.
Yeah, absolutely. And has, of course, also to do with this woman's depth and pace on her ground strokes.
Four overheads in this game.
Yeah.
Advantage, Muchova.
Muchova's handled them all.
And none of them were particularly easy. All of them were required a few dynamic steps backwards. Muchova into the same corner, and that's when Pegula is the one who can change direction. One of her biggest strengths, she can change directions on the backhand seamlessly. There is no way for you to guess or recognize when she is going to pull the trigger, but Muchova keeping it too much in one corner.
Please. Let's reset. Please.
This game has been almost as long as the entire first set, and Pegula has worked her way back to her fourth break point.
Thank you. Thank you. please.
Maybe what this stadium, as much of it, has waited for. Pegula has a lead.
Pegula leads by 4 games to 2.
Muchova
Second set.
can't be surprised by this. She played Gauff in the semifinals here last year. She knows what it's like firsthand to have the obvious play of the stadium rooting for the home country player. It's amazing. Look how many people are moving around after in an even game, and the players are playing on.
This has become very fun match to watch now. Jessica Pegula has truly arrived here, and maybe after this point, Jill, I wonder what you're making of Muchova's physicality.
To me, she still looks okay. It's been fun to watch his turnaround, actually, because there's been so many things that have changed. The confidence growing in Pegula, the depth and the power off her ground strokes increasing, which is pushing Muchova behind the baseline a little bit further in this set. But as far as the physicality, I still feel like both look exceptionally good. I think neither one has been affected as far as by the longer rallies that are now accumulating. I think both looking still very, very fresh, but this has been fun to watch how things have changed.
That's now a reversal. Pegula winning a big second serve point. Now having to save a break point. What an exchange at the end, but Muchova breaks back.
4 games to 3, second set. First set, Muchova.
And it's not surprising, just compounded by the fact that it's an American player involved here. They want a third set. There are plenty more melon balls to be sold tonight.
Whoops. 15.
No longer pitching a perfect game on the overheads.
It's all in or all out. Now here we have it, what you talked about earlier, Ted.
Wow.
Just a drop-off in level here in the second set. And Pegula has remained right where she was in the first, 8 unforced in the first set, 7 right now.
That's first set.
Pegula's gone from 7 to 16. Muchova has gone from from 7 to 16, unforced.
Settle.
This is
long 13.
Now it's happened over several games, so this is what Pegula hoped for. She has every bit of a chance now to get this to a deciding set.
Novak. 15-13.
So one thing that I hadn't noticed until just now, Muchova's had a good night at net, 15 of 22. I hadn't realized Pegula's 1 of 9.
That's all.
There was great decisiveness on that low ball, which was a lot harder than it looked, and she moved up to it quickly, hit it, accelerated beautifully, has a chance to get right back here into the set. Get out of town.
What? What's just
4 games old, second set.
Muchova to hit this.
Incredible footwork to get to that by Jess Pegula, and then just a half volley, low volley, all the most difficult shots they tell us that that are impossible to hit.
I'm envious of Jill's VIP look at that.
That was absolutely ridiculous. I'm still in shock.
Well, now, again, tennis does this. How quickly this dynamic changes. A few moments ago, Pegula's up a break. And you're thinking third set. Now she's in pretty close to a must hold.
Dirty love.
Players actually putting the first serves in the second set.
New balls, please.
How about that response from Pegula? The importance of that game, she holds it love. Now it's Muchova.
Love 15.
It's the one thing that has dropped off a bit is the first shot after the serve, and we just...
Yeah, Jill, what did you notice about this?
Yeah, I did just notice that's on the changeover right there. I just saw her stretching her back. In the previous game as well, she was rubbing it a little bit for a couple points when she was on the other side. So obviously just trying to loosen it up. We might see a few more down shots if she wants to try and bring Jess forward. I think it's been a great play for her if she doesn't want to, if something is bothering her and she doesn't want to stay on the baseline in these longer rallies so much. We might see that tactic a little bit more often.
And that was what I was going to say. The one thing I noticed on the second set, her first shot after the serve has really dropped off a lot. She's missing a lot of them. She's giving just shorter balls off of them. And maybe just, you know, having to catch with that weight of a serve with your lower back just maybe slows you down half a step.
One misses of Logic and forehand as you saw. Here we are. 2 set points.
Thank you. The 14. Please. Second set. 6 sets
to play.
1 set over.
Right to win the U.S. Open Championship.
Final set.
So Muchova was on the clock.
Pegula to serve.
Now the case for the timeouts, and here we go. Pegula, 1 set winner plays for the U.S. Open title.
Left vessel.
shot through the center of the court is doing wonders right now. Here we have the dad, as you mentioned, had not in the player's box.
Terry Pegula again, as was the case last night. Not sitting in player box. As the first set was about largely Muchova winners, the second set largely was about Muchova errors. And Muchova made 2 to start this game.
Yeah, Pegula.
So Pegula holds.
First game, final set.
Waters 1 set away from playing for a U.S. Open title.
That's a nice would you rather. Would you rather your daughter win the U.S. Open or the Buffalo Bills win the Super Bowl?
No, 15.
And I mean, shot.
You hit that, and just again, we talked at the beginning of the second set. The obvious part of hoping Muchova's level would drop a bit on the Pegula side. Well, it feels like it's crashing.
It seems to me like she's a step slower.
Yep, exactly. Okay. Especially that last one, you could see it, right? She just couldn't quite get over to that slice as quickly as she has been, and she's rushing a little bit. Some of these shorter balls, she almost feels like she wants to hit and rush forward and then backpedaling. It's just a little more indecisiveness from her.
15-30.
Well, a major difference in the first 2 sets as well. Remember, in the first set we were commenting on Pegula couldn't put second serves in play. Second serve returns, rather. Muchova won 7 of 10 second serve points in the first set. In the second set, Muchova won 3 of 15 on her second.
We
don't know, may not know until afterwards if it's a physical reason, but this is not the same player, Muchova.
It's not
we saw in the first set.
It's not the same player. What I'm assuming is if it's the lower back or the back, the toughest part of having a lower back issue, let's say, is when you have to catch your weight after serve. And that's why I think she's missing a lot of the first shots after the serve, because that's where you need a quick step, and she can't put it in right now.
Please.
Complete turn now at the start of the third set.
And what a great reaction from Jessica
Pegula leads by 2 games.
Fist bump, but not too much of an emotional reaction. She knows there is still some work to be done. And there were some tips and check from the side. Unfortunately, I cannot translate. You don't. Was your check not great either?
Oh, just I'm rusty.
Just conversational, right?
Yeah. And to frame again what
15.
Muchova has, where Muchova may be tonight. Since last year's U.S. Open to this year's U.S. Open, she's played a total of 11 matches.
Yeah, almost taking half volleys on the baseline now, Muchova, instead of putting the effort in with the footwork on those great deep shots of Jess Pegula. And this is really a completely different Jess Pegula in second and third set when it comes to the depth of her ground stroke. She's in the last third of the court almost every single time.
Just so much more alert for the ball as well. Just watched her side of the court at that point, and every single time she hits the ball, she's just much more ready for that next ball. See how on top of that short ball she was on the volley. It's very quick.
Reaction. So if there's a physical problem, it didn't stop Muchova there. Muchova point.
30-14.
Interesting, to say the least. 16 shots and now a break point.
Yes. Advantage Pegula. Thank you.
And Pegula holds off push, and it's 3 games away.
Pegula leads by 3 games to love. Final sets.
Muchova playing just a brilliant first set. Round 2 of this U.S. Open, Muchova beat Naomi Osaka in a high-level second-round match. 13 total unforced for Muchova. She has 32 tonight.
But just comparing to the first set where Muchova was moving the ball around all the time, changing paces, changing directions. Right now, she's staying in the cross-court rallies with Pegula, and Pegula gets stronger and stronger in those cross-court rallies because she can set up for her ground strokes even better. So she has more pace, more depth, and it gives Muchova problems, and that's why there was such a big turnaround here.
Yeah, Andrea, also she hasn't been able to use the slides as much because of that depth and power from the ground that we saw a little bit more often earlier in this match. So that's been a change as well. Just hasn't been able to use the variety as much as she would like.
And that's a great point. In the first set, so many times Muchova played that backhand down the line slice. Pegula lifted it, and then Muchova would go for her forehand. We haven't seen that pattern at all in the last 2 sets, and that's her bread and butter.
40-15.
First set like serve +1. Jill, are you
leads by 3 games
close
to 1.
Can you notice anything different with Muchova?
Not physically. She hasn't been grabbing her back like we saw previously in that second set. So that's a good sign, hoping that everything is okay. I do feel like she has this intent to be more aggressive. She's falling inside the court more on the serve, which is allowing her to take those couple balls out of the air. So I think she's looking for more aggressive play.
As you watch this browser and open up usopenshop.org. It's the official shop for US Open merch. Get yourself set, get your family set. usopenshop.org. Pegula is a little bit like the end of her match. Just keep the ball in play.
Yeah, a little bit. She has a bit more pace on it than yesterday. Yesterday was really all about keeping the ball in play. She knows she has to put a bit on her ground strokes here, and she's doing really well. Oh, wow, that's... Yeah,
40-15.
Wow, 108 on the serve.
From Pegula
just
to
wastes it away. Wow.
short take back, just very stable in the upper body. That's what allows her to pull that off and gets a smile and a little bit of a clapping hand.
Total.
Slice down the line.
40-30.
Trying to apply the strategy from the first set, Muchova, and Pegula is doing well in staying on the backhand side on that. But still, beautifully pulled off this one right here. While moving back, not easy to do.
Reaching back for the play that won her that first set.
I think her back's feeling a little bit better.
Oh, man.
No, she moved incredibly well there. Just great anticipation from Muchova.
Thank you.
Even Pegula has to smile. One of the greatest reversals from defense to offense by Muchova in that point.
This was absolute insanity. I want nothing to do with this too. Incredible.
That's all Pegula can do. If she doesn't smile about it, she'd be crying.
Let's Yes. Advantage Pegula.
Well placed, and Pegula pushes back and holds off Muchova for 4-1.
Pegula leads by 4-1, final set. $50.
And she, on the other hand, will want to try and keep this very tight, try and keep her hopes and her serve afloat and see how Pegula reacts when she has to serve it out. That's all she can do, really, Muchova.
And Pegula able to rush now Muchova, I think, on the forehand. Just watching the way Pegula's hitting, she's coming through the forehand so much faster with the wrist, just extra acceleration. That's what's giving her that extra pace off the ground.
Thirty, 15. That's all.
There's the flash again of the Muchova, who has 33 winners.
4-2 final
That is
set.
very well done, but the biggest difference is this right here. Pegula now going down the line on those slices. And yes, she made this one and she played it beautifully, Muchova, but she's breaking apart that pattern that is Muchova's bread and butter, to play the down the line slice. Normally she gets a cross court and she can set up for her weapon, the forehand. Pegula has just completely neutralized that pattern, so Muchova just feels like she needs to do something extra.
15.
Atakujte lopty, poď. Atakujte lopty. Nečakaj.
It's Pegula's turn to play some nice defense.
And actually really interesting, I just heard from the chat box, attack the ball, don't wait for it, attack the ball.
Oh, you could pick that up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We understand some of it, and that was very clearly, it was very clearly said.
Ball must have dropped on the line.
Yes.
A little high up.
Yeah, I did see it. It was
oh, Jill,
clear.
you're there, yeah.
Yeah, it was clearly on the line. I think she was hoping that it was going to be long.
Right.
It looked like it was drifting long, and then all of a sudden I think it just caught the back of the line.
Well, this game, now a little tension for that side.
Advantage, Pegula.
See what that signal meant. Lined up in the alley. Winner.
Yes.
That was attacking the ball, wasn't it?
That was definitely attacking the ball. Incredible tennis.
Advantage,
from
Pegula.
both women here.
Again.
Yes.
Rips the forehand. And I love your point, Andrea, because that's what we're seeing in this third set. We're seeing better level from both. Winners from both.
It's really, really high quality here. They're playing at such high pace.
Let's press it.
Well, she was set up so well for that shot. I think it was just the wrong shot to go for in that moment. And the quality, you're right, has just been absolutely extraordinary. I think both keeping court position very well.
Thank you.
So both on top of the baseline.
With this.
Even the record throw looks elegant.
That was a heck of a catch. That was.
Yeah, just casually. No problem.
Well, this was a 40-love game. And now this will be a second serve on the 13th point.
Pegula. Thank you. Let's have.
Just a routine 40-love hold, huh? Had it all the way. Jessica Pegula is a game away from the US Open final.
Final sets. Long 15.
Just saw a shot of the Muchova box. And Coach Emil was not there. Bad time for a bathroom break for the coach. Nah, there he is. He just came back.
Thank you. Love 14. Thank you. Thank you. please. Fifteen, 14. Thank you.
Jessica Pegula is in the U.S. Open final.
6-4, 6-2.
If you watch the first set of this match, you could have never envisioned this ending. At age 30, just the third American woman to make the U.S. Open final. Serena Williams, Martina Navratilova,